Yeah, just come on in whenever, that's fine. Now let's just go ahead and go over what we went over the other day. Let's just do a couple of problems to remember. I can't remember what we went over. I mean, yeah. I'm just trying to get everything situated for you. Just hold on. All right, so the two formulas that we went over. What is this? Y'all straighten up, I'm gonna roll you. Isn't that something you run over a print? Something that you print? Blotter?
Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called a speedball. That sounds like something you do in your nose or something. Snort. Speedball. Or is that an 8-ball? Something like that. All right. So the two formulas so far, or three formulas, is simple interest, compound interest, and continuous interest. Simple interest is kind of like taxes. 1 plus percentage of your total, your total plus the percentage of the total is equal to, that should be the total, I'm sorry, hold on. The amount, the principal, plus the principal times the, now instead of doing that, you can just multiply by 1 point and percentage of the principal. You can do it that way. In other words, if you loan somebody $5,000 at 10% interest, and you multiply that, over a 5-year period, then you divide by 60 to find out the monthly payments. Compound interest, A is equal to B times 1 plus R over N raised to the nth power. And yes, you should know that by heart. And A is equal to, you have to remember, I think this is P E to the RT power per. Now all of you know that per is a what? Is a shampoo. So, if we take these three formulas and apply them to one single question, the answers are going to be similar but not exact. Let's say you let somebody borrow some money, or whatever the case may be. You put money in a bank and they charge you simple interest, compound interest. Let's do $5,000. And we're talking about, let's do like the good old days, 8%. And for 5 years. And for those that need it, N is compounded monthly, okay? So 90% of the time, if I give you a question and I don't put N, it's considered to be monthly. Because N is always monthly when we're talking about amortization, because everybody base their lives on what? Monthly what? Payments. Your car payment, your house payment, your rent, your utilities, everything is based on monthly payments. So do all three of those. Do the simple interest over 5 years, do the compound interest, and do the continuous interest. And if you can't do it, just consider yourself a failure. Miss Swinger, I came into English twice this weekend. You wasn't even there. I asked. They said something about you being drunk in a ditch somewhere. Any good movies this weekend?
Jigsaw.
What'd you want?
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw. Was that good?
I'm gonna see this weekend.
It's on. I think it's on.
They have all those on Hulu.
Yeah, I think it's on there. What'd you say? Have saw what? Yeah, I mean I haven't seen it, but I'm not into those kind of movies. But is it good? What'd you say?
I saw Happy Death Day yesterday.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Well, I've heard people say it was good, and then I've heard people say it was.
I mean, it was stupid, but I thought it was cool.
Well,
It's not a horror movie. It's just like.
oh, it's not.
It's more like.
Is it a horror comedy? I cannot stand horror comedies.
It's
Or
not
is it
like-
horror stupid?
It's like. It's not really scary. There's like two scary things that happen in the whole movie.
It's kind of like a jigsaw where you kind of like a saw movie where you
Just
figure
tension.
out.
Oh, yeah. Well, them dogs won again. I can't wait to see them dogs against Alabama. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be a slobber knocker. Alabama plays LSU this weekend, coming up. Oh, shut up. So simple interest, I'm just going to put them up here. We'll keep working. Would be 1.08 times what? 5,000. And then you're going to multiply that. I mean, that would be over 5 years. And then you would divide that by what? 60 payments. Okay. Now, usually, simple interest is not a savings scenario, okay? Simple interest is usually you loaning somebody money, okay? In some way or form. Whether it be they buy a piece of property from you or a car from you, but you could do simple interest with a loan. But in that case, it would just be 1.08 times 5,000. Okay? which 10% of 5, that'd be 50. 50 times 8 is 40. It'd be 5,400. What'd you get? 5,400 over 5 years. So you could, I doubt a bank would do it, but you might get somebody that's, there are people that, loan sharks and stuff that, in Rocky 2, the loan shark that always was good to Rocky, he comes up to him after the wedding and says, "What do you want to do with your money? You want to put it on the street?" Well, that's what he was talking about. Loaning money for like 40% or 30%. That's what loan sharks do. So do these title loan companies. They do that too. If you see one of them title loan companies, what should you do? Run away from it as fast as you can. Same thing with credit cards. All right, so that comes out to be $5,400, and in this case, if we were loaning that money divided by 60, what kind of payment plan would that be? I'm sorry, what? $90 a month. If you were loaning it out. Okay? All right, compound interest, same type. That's going to be 5,000. Compound interest. $5,000 times 1 plus 0.05 over 12 raised, raised to the NT power, will that be 12 raised to the 60th power?
0.08.
I'm sorry, yes. Did I say 0.08 or 0.5? Okay, I was looking at 5 years. Okay? We'll do that on the calculator. The more times you do this type of calculation on the calculator, the better. If you only do it 1 or 2 times, then you're going to suck at it probably. So 0.08, so hit on first. 0.08 divided by 12, add it to 1, raise it to the 60th power, and multiply it by 5,000. And that comes out to be what? 74, 49, 23. Is that what y'all got? So you see, simple interest and compound interest, a whole lot of difference, isn't it? 70. I done lost it. There it is. 74.50. I'm not going to write all that out. Now, you see the difference? Simple interest is being a neighbor, is being a friend, is being a family member. If Miss Slack is my cousin, and she walks up to me and says, "I'd like to borrow $5,000, I say, "Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you borrow $5,000, but I'm going to compound it monthly at 6%. She ought to take a board upside my head if I'm a family member of hers. Okay? Because that's just what? You don't do things like that. All right? Now, what if Miss Slack was somebody I couldn't trust? Then maybe you might want to. But heck, if she's going to skip town on you on a $5,000 loan, it ain't going to matter which interest you charge her. You see what I'm saying? So, you use your own judgment when you. I would rather loan money to a friend or a acquaintance than a family member. Usually, family and money don't mix very well. And then continuous interest. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I'll have to watch jigsaw in that other movie, what you call it? Yeah, because I've been seeing it come up on, Fire Stick, and I just wondered if it was any good, so I have to watch it. We're gonna watch, hopefully, the Halloween marathon tonight, or whenever it comes on. Continuous interest.
Incoming message.
Or Jason. That's going to be PERT. A is equal to P, E, R to the T, or P, E to the RT power. So that's going to be 5,000 times E to the 0.08 times 5. So take your handy dandy calculator, clear it, and type in second function, natural log, and then multiply 0.08 times 5, 0.08 times 5, close parentheses, enter, and then multiply that by what? 5,000. 74.59. And what do you notice about continuing interest?
It's kind of the same as
What?
It's kind of the same as
It's only $9 difference, isn't it? Now, of course, you start talking about big money, then you start talking about a big difference. But usually, most banks, they just do continuous interest because it kind of takes care of everybody, and it's easy. It's an easy calculation, so the math is not that difficult. So that's a good one to know. These two are good to know. So make sure you know how to use it. And like I say, it's not very difficult with the calculator, especially if you know how to type it in. Okay? All right, let me pull up the book again. Let's see what we go over. I can't remember what's in the rate. I know what's in the next section, but I want to make sure that I cover everything in this section. That's not mine. Every time I come in here, I pull up her stuff. That was 7A, was it, or 7B? Was that 7B? I think it was 7B. Yes or no?
7B, we briefly looked at 7A.
Yeah, 7A was kind of common knowledge stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over that. I'll tell you what, let me go here. 7B. Let's see. Not chapter 7, is it? It's not right. I do that all the time I do that because of Math 120. All right, there's continuous compounding. I think we just went over that. No hiccuping in class. And I'm not going to go over that because that's continuous compounding. There it is. A is equal to PERT, P-E-R-T. And we've already done an example. I thought that was it. All right, then let's move on to the next section, which is 4C. This should be the savings. Managing money. Yeah, savings plans. All right, go ahead and write that booger down. It looks all difficult, but it's not. As long as you know how to use your calculator, you're good. You suck at it, then you're going to suck at these problems. No sneezing in class. You put the battery in the wrong way. No, you didn't. Well, that's what happens when you let a battery sit in there for 6 months. Hey, go. The little spring is even stuck. Yep. Damn Russians. Them Russians get into everything, don't they? Check, make sure that they didn't give you a dead battery. No? There it goes. This is a miracle. Looks like it's got a short in it.
Incoming message.
I'll work on that after class. All right, now what this thing does is basically gives you a payment. I mean, if you put $120 in a savings account, blah, 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 at the end of so many years, how much will you have accumulated in that savings account? Usually like an IRA is what we're talking about. Something that gives you a little bit more than a what? Than a regular savings account. That's what this is talking about. And they should give you an example next. Okay, go ahead and write this down. Using the savings plans formula to calculate the balance after 6 months for an APR of 12% and monthly payments of $100. So write that down so we can go back. It's 100, and so write down N is equal to 12. R is equal to 12%. Payment is 100. And what is T? 0.5, Hubert. That's right. T is 0.5, or 1/2. I'm going to go back. I'm going to write the information down right here. If y'all don't mind. So R is equal to 0.12. T is equal to 0.5. N is equal to 12, or payment. Oh, whatever. Payment is equal to 12. And how many years, or we did years, are, well, there's one more thing. What is it? $100. Like, payment is $100. That's fine. Payment is $100. I thought there was something else.
N is 12.
N is 12. Thank you. And I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to write it down because I can do everything in the calculator. So 100 times 1 plus 0.12 divided by 12 raised to the nt power. So what's half of 12? So the 6th power minus 1 over, and again, APR is R. I don't know why. Stupid book. NT power. Okay, so R over N is going to be 0.12 divided by 12 is 0.1, but we're going to go ahead and write it down. 0.12 divided by 12. And that should be it. So, let's use our handy dandy calculator. Oops. Pull up our handy dandy calculator. And I'm going to start from the inside out. So 0.12 divided by 12 equals plus 1 equals raised to the what? 6th power equals minus 1 equals divided by parentheses 0.12 divided by 12, which is 0.01, and you could type in 0.01 if you wanted to. Enter, times 100. All right, write that down. So at the end of 6 months, you've got $615.20. So how much did you make in 6 months? You added $15 to your investment. Okay. Now, what's different between that and a regular savings at? Well, let's go ahead and figure and see what happens. Let's go ahead and figure this at just compounded interest. Where's my whiteboard? So A is equal to, well, we can't do that because, well, we could say 600. Yeah, 600. 600, because that's how much we're investing, $600, times 1 plus R over N, 0.12 over 12, raised to the NT power, which is 6. Let's see what we get. We'll pull up our handy dandy calculator. And that's going to be 0.12 divided by 12 equals plus 1 equals raised to the 6th power equals times 600. 636. But what's the problem? Did you have $600 at the beginning to put in the bank? No, you only have $100. So the reason you have this formula is in case you don't have the upfront money, you can put it in at a little bit at a time, such as a retirement. Okay? Now there's two formulas that go in this section. One of them is this formula. Okay? So you need to write this formula down. I'm going to erase that because it's on what you call it. That formula. The other one comes in later to where how much do you need to put in as a monthly payment for the next 30 years to live off of $5,000 a month for the rest of your life. Okay? I think I got it fixed now. Oh, there's even corrosion in this thing. Corrosion is like rust. If you don't get rid of it, it'll keep going. There. All right. So there's one formula. Let's see if we got it right. Let me pull up the handy dandy do-jigger again. Is that what we got? 615? Okay. Annuity. You go ahead and write these down. Just mainly annuity. You can write down the other ones or take a picture of it if you want to. An annuity is any regular series of equal regular payments. An annuity would be like something that you take out of your paycheck. Like my 401k. I take a certain amount out of my paycheck every month. Why? I don't know, but I do. Because I was told to do that when I first started at Tech. You need to do a 401k. Okay. I really could use that money each month, but, you know. Right now, what's the big news in the news today as far as Washington, D.C.? Y'all are pathetic.
After that shooting, they have no taxes.
Tax what? Tax reform. What does tax reform mean? Well, right now, there's 5 levels of taxes. They want to knock it down to what? 3. They also want to give businesses, small businesses and large businesses, a tax break. Okay? They want to up the level that you don't pay taxes. So most of y'all are students, and unless you've got something that I don't know about or doing something illegal, most of you would fit in that first category of $24,000. Up to $24,000 you don't have to pay taxes on. So that means that you can take more money, what? Home in your paycheck. Okay? That's the good part. Some people say that giving tax breaks to small businesses and large businesses is not good. Well, it is good. Why? Because the more businesses that come to the U.S. and come and locate in the U.S. means what? More jobs. You know, you can't make a cake without flour. All right? And you can't employ people and have people have jobs if all the companies are going to India and China. Okay? So that's it. It's not a tax break for the rich. It's a tax break for businesses. All right? Now, why am I talking about this? Because when you're talking about taxes, you're talking about taking money out of your paycheck, just like this annuity. Taking money out of your paycheck to cover what taxes you owe. And we're going to get into that in 7E or 4E, whatever chapter we are. So make sure you know what an annuity is. Yes, ma'am.
So, like, I filed taxes since I married off my husband, and let's say he makes like $55,000 a year, and
He
I'm
don't.
more likely to pay.
What?
Am I more likely to pay taxes?
It all depends, and when we'll get into that in the 4E also, it depends on how many dependents you claim. Okay? Like I claim 4 or 5 dependents, and I have been, and I haven't changed it. Why? Because that takes more money out of your paycheck. and where Uncle Sam will end up owing you money. As I would rather have Uncle Sam owe me $5 than me have to owe him $100. Okay? You don't want to owe Uncle Sam money, period. Because that gets into a cluster. Because the IRS is so big. That's another thing the tax cut would do. It would draw down the IRS to where they would have to go out and get a real what? A real job. Because it would cut them in half. And that's what's needed in Washington. But anyway, make sure you know what an annuity is. Something that goes out every single month. A 401k, your dadgum house payment. If you got it drafted out of your, that's not technically an annuity, it's a payment, but an annuity is usually a savings account. Okay? Next. You would like to retire 25 years from now and have a retirement fund from which you can draw an income of $50,000 per year. How can you do it? This is the formula you're gonna, okay, you got to do this first. All right? And I'm just gonna, there we go. You've got to have an amount that you can pull from. All right? There's the amount that you're gonna pull from. How did you get that? Well, you got to take the 50,000 and multiply it by 0.07 or divide it by 0.07. So you need to put right here, draw from. You need to put draw from, and then you need to highlight draw from. And then you need to highlight this right here. Oh, well, you need to put a circle around that. Whatever they give you, the total, you want to divide that by the R. Because that step, you have to do that first before you can plug it into the original formula that we started with. All right, that's your income. That's what you're going to set it equal to. Because you can't get blood out of what? A turnip. Okay? You can't get blood out of a turnip. If you're wanting,
Chris was just saying that saying. I was like, why is that a saying?
You can't get blood out of a turnip. You can't get something that's not there. All right? Just like if you're in the negative at your bank account, negative $400, I'll come up to you and say, can I get my $5 that I loaned you 6 weeks ago? Why? You don't have it. You can't get blood out of a turnip. And here, you can't get $50,000 for the rest of your life if you don't have a big nest egg put up somewhere. So how big does your nest egg need to be? It needs to be $800,000 or $700,000 nest egg. All right? Now, let's see what kind of payment that is, or what are they asking for? What you would like to retire, How can you do it? Assume a constant APR of, so this is going to be, and they should give you the formula on the next page. In other words, a balance of 715 allows to withdraw 50,000, blah, blah, blah. Let's assume you will accumulate monthly deposits. There we go. A is equal to, and you're going to solve for, and I don't know if they derive the formula or if you just solve it at the end. Let's see what they do. There it is. Okay, A is equal to, payment is equal to, they changed the formula. They derived the formula to solve for what? Payment. So this is the other formula. This is the draw from formula. Think of this one as the big nest egg. You figured out the big nest egg, but you got to figure out how to get to the big nest egg. The big nest egg is $715,000. I'm just going to round it up. Well, I don't know what they did. They rounded up. Well, anyway, let me get my black globe. There we go. All right, so payment, sorry, is equal to, I'm just going to take the 50,000, was it 50,000, and divide it by 0.07. I'm just going to do that because I can't remember the number. Plus, what was the rate? Anybody write down the rate? Huh?
Would that be the 70% or the?
I'm sorry, what'd you say? 7%?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right, 7%. Over 1 plus 0.07 divided by 12 raised to the nt power. N is 12, what is it, 25 years?
Yes.
Minus 1. Now, what is this asking right here? This is saying, what kind of payment do I need to make? So Xavier starts his work at ABC University or ABC Corporation, and he just come out of personnel. He walks into personnel, and he said, "I want to start me a retirement fund coming out of my paycheck, and I want to be able to live comfortably and draw $50,000 a year off my retirement. What do I need to put into my retirement?" And that's what we're fixing to find out. So, take our handy dandy calculator out. And again, you have to know how to use your calculator. Oh my Lord, I got this thing all messed up. Okay, I'll just have to try to read it. All right, so that's going to be 50,000 divided by 0.07 equals, and there's that number. Then I'm going, is it plus? Yeah, there it is right there. I'm sorry. I didn't even know it was right there. Plus 0.07. Oops, I better put parentheses right there. 0.07 divided by 12 equals. I'm going to leave that in the top. I'm going to store that alpha numerator, because I can't see anything because of this right here. I'm going to try to do this now. So that's going to be on the bottom, 0.07 divided by 12 equals plus 1 equals raised to the parentheses 12 times 25 close parentheses equals minus 1 equals store alpha D. Clear alpha N divided by alpha D is equal. That's not right. I can't see. Let's see, 12 times 15. Oh, we did 12 times 25. It must have been 15 years. Was it 15 years or 25 years? I thought it was 15. I thought it was 25. Okay, we'll have to look and see. I can't. Hold on, let me go back. Y is equal to 25 years. Well, if Y is equal to 25 years, why do they have a 15 right here?
Yeah, it says at the bottom of the next.
I'm sorry, what?
It says at the bottom that you deposit $883 for the next 45 years.
They got an error there. That's an error. But I've got an error somewhere also. Let me try that again. And also, they rounded up to 715,000. They didn't tell us to round up to 715,000, but I guess we're supposed to know that. Let me go back again.
You have a work email.
Alpha N divided by alpha
D. Did I do it bass backwards? No, I didn't. Well, I know I didn't like the way that 4 point whatever. So let me try it again. 715,000 multiplied by, or added to 0.07 divided by 12. Okay, store alpha n. Now let me take alpha n and divide by alpha d. I think the denominator's not right. Yeah, something's wrong with the denominator. All right, let me do it again. I'm going to ignore their 15 because I don't think that's right. All right, 0.07 divided by 12 plus 1 raised to the what? Well, I'm going to put a parenthesis here and I'm going to say 12 times 25 equals minus 1. I get the same answer. What'd y'all get? Well, something's wrong. Store alpha d. So alpha n divided by alpha d. Okay, something's not right. Let me pull this up and see what's going on because something's not right. All right, I need y'all to check and see if I don't understand what I've done wrong. Okay, whatever. Anybody catch a Well, what happened? Where? There I am. All right, I want y'all to take 50,000 and divide by 0.07. And tell me what you get. 714.
285.
285.
You have a work email.
Point what?
0.72.
All right, so we're going to change that to 715,000. So that's equal to A. Everybody got that? You'd like to retire 25 years from now and have a retirement fund from which you can draw an income of 50,000 per year, forever. Okay? I'm just looking to see if I'm missing something. I'm trying to I've never had this problem before. And for some reason, this. Okay, I can't erase anything. Oh, I can do that though. Is that on the whiteboard? Is that why it won't do that? I think that's why. Hold on a second. Okay, that's the clear screen there. All right. So we've got A is equal to 715,000 plus 0.07 divided by 12 over 1 plus 0.07 divided by 12 raised to the nt power, which is going to be 12 times 25 minus 1. All right, now I want y'all to punch that in the calculator. I want you to get a numerator, I want you to get a denominator, and get a final answer. Because I'm not getting the same thing they're getting. .07 over 12, 1 plus 0.07 over 12. I don't know where they're getting the 15. Minus 1. If anybody wants to tell me where they're getting the 15, I'll be glad to listen to you, but I have no idea where they're getting that 15. Looks like to me it's not right. All right, I'm going to take my calculator out and I'm going to do this one more time. It's 0.07 divided by 12 equals plus 715,000 equals. I got that. That's what I got before, I believe. Store alpha numerator. Oops. Alpha numerator. Enter. Okay, the bottom. 0.07 divided by 12. Enter. Plus 1. Enter. Raised to the parentheses 12 times 25. Close parentheses. Enter. Minus 1. Same thing I got a while ago. Store alpha denominator. Alpha numerator divided by alpha denominator. And what would be nice if I could erase all this stuff, but it won't let me erase it, so I can't figure out. Every time I hit that button, it says ring. I don't know. I really don't know what to tell y'all. All right, let's check this. Let's check and see what they're getting. You see that 1.005? Let's see what I get. Because something's not right. 0.07 divided by 12 equals plus 1. 1.005. Well, why didn't I get that? Oh, they're not raising it. Okay, what's 12 times 25? Let's see. Why they got 15?
That's probably a typo.
It must be a typo. So let me try it again. Let me go 0.07 divided by 12 plus 1 raised to the 300th power. Wait a minute. Now that would make sense. They've got multiplication symbol here, but they got a plus symbol here. That would make sense. That's what we're doing wrong. Watch. 715,000 times 0.07 divided by 12 is equal to, there. Divide that by alpha D. There we go.
So is it?
It's supposed to be times. They screwed it up several places. There. And this is not supposed to be 15, it's supposed to be 25. There. I'm sorry, I don't understand why they had it so in the previous problem, they just screwed that up. They screwed that slide up. So Xavier would have to give $800 of his, or $900 of his paycheck every month so he could live for the rest of his life on $50,000. So Xavier, make sure 1, you're single, and 2, you get a good job. Okay, so you need to get a good job so you can afford $800 so you can live off the rest of your paycheck, given $800, and then when you retire, you'll be set. What's the catch? It's not easy giving $800 your paycheck at, or $900, especially if you're married and got like 15 kids running around, you know. That's why you 1, you get your degree. 2, you get your career. 3, later on you get married. And 4, you have kids later on. That's the order. Okay?
I'm old that way.
I know. Well, you're just going to have to live in a ditch. All right. You're all right. He's got a good job. You're all right. But for a single person, you know, that's the way you do it. All right? And if I offended you, well, I'm sorry. Get a life. Okay? Next thing. I've got to get rid of all this stuff. Okay. Write this down. Total return. This is important because this is a standardized test question. Consider an investment that grows from an original principal P to a later accumulated balance A. New minus old over old. Write that down. New minus old over old. That's percentage increase or decrease. Then you got to multiply it by 100. I don't use the A minus P. I use new minus old over old. I'll never forget when I was hired at Tri-County Tech, there was 2 other people hired the same time I was hired. One of them is still here. The other one, I don't know if I think they just did other things. All right? but one of them is still at the Pendleton campus. Well, anyway, I got hired like in September, August of '96. And about 6 months later, the president's report was coming up, and I get a call from this woman that got hired the same day I did. She goes, I'm scared to ask anybody else because they make fun of me, so I'm going to ask you, how do you find percentage increase or decrease? And I told her, new minus old over old. And that's it. Stick in your head, new minus old over old. If you buy a shirt and it went from $16 to $13, what's the percentage decrease? Well, the new is 16, new minus old over old. 16 minus 13 over, or the old price was 16, so that'd be new minus old. 13 minus 16 over 13. It's going to be a negative because it went down. Okay, so new minus old over old. Annual return. I won't see, that'll be on your homework questions, but I won't test you on that. So A over P to 1 over T. In other words, what did you end up getting? Minus, divided by your principal, and then raise it to the 1 divided by T, and then minus 1. That's your annual return. I'm not going to test you on that. They give you an example here. There it is right there. So it'd be 180% return.
You have a work email.
Type of investments. Stocks. I don't think I need to tell you what stocks are. There's different types of stocks. I got stocks running around out in the pasture. Okay? Those are stocks. All right? I buy a cow, I fatten them up, and then I send them back, and I make money off of them. It's just like a stock. You buy orange juice, frozen orange juice shares. You buy them for $15, you sell them for $50. You made $35 a piece for them. It's the same thing. One's on paper, the other one's out there in the pasture. You do the same thing with hogs, you do the same thing with wheat, you do the same thing with corn, soybeans, whatever the case may be. Stocks and commodities fit together like a glove because they're the same thing. That's why you hear stocks and commodities. One's out in the real world, the other one's on paper inside a building. Okay? Investments, a bond. There's an Andy Griffith episode where the old man that they were trying to evict out of a home had a bond that was over 100 years old, and it paid out at a certain amount, and you can use your A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N raised to the NT power. You can calculate it, and they did on the show, on the Andy Griffith show. They owed him like $600,000, and they were evicting the man that owed them, and the town owed them $600,000. So that's a bond. We'll talk about some more of these after class is over. Wednesday when y'all come back. We still got a few more to go over. So y'all should be able to get up on, which one was this one? 3 or 4? 4.3? Is this 4.3?
Yeah.
So you should be working on 4.3 homework now. Questions? Gripes? Complaints? He's gone.